cloud. I know it's cold in here today. Okay, so we are recording. So we're going to talk about, pop up here. We're going to talk about, it's put under the guise of open house closing or client follow-up conversion. But really, truthfully, this is conversion practices for all aspects where leads come in. So whether that be through a property boost, a squeeze page, a landing page, people in your, that you come across in there, an open house that you do, people come in. Here's kind of how lead conversion goes. If you can get to a 3 to 5% on lead conversion, you're doing really well. So that means out of every 100 leads, if you can convert 3 of those, that means that's 3 transactions. Okay. Again, real estate, a lot of it is, especially as you're building your business, it's a numbers game, and getting good at how to talk with people, communicate with people, information you get to them. So if you want to get beyond a 3 to 5% conversion rate, it's probably going to need to be that you're going to need to work with somebody to be able to do that, because it's a lot of work. There's a lot of work of follow-up, of calling people, texting, emailing, being consistent with that. And then when you start getting results and you start getting clients, then it's more work because you're doing the lead conversion as well as you're doing the other. So, but there's some lead conversion practices and techniques that are helpful. And we're going to be talking a lot about this over the next several months, because we're generating tons of leads now. Now it's getting good at converting those leads and helping to be able to communicate our message and be able to work with people and get people going on this. So we're going to talk about best practices. So one of the things is to host an open house, and hopefully in the next 60 days, they'll open that back up again so we can start doing that. You can go into a restaurant and eat your food, but you can't go to an open house, which is just doesn't make sense to me. But a lot of it hasn't made sense. So one, start being in prep, start prepping yourself and getting your things in place, some of the tools that are here for open houses, so you can start to do that. So if you do an open house, you got a reason to contact past open house guests. You can invite them. Some of you, or a lot of you, are doing the open home of the week thing right now, which is a reason to reach out to your client base, your database, and say, hey, here's the new home of the week. And, find a unique thing for doing a home of the week. Maybe ugly house of the week, or, spectacular house of the week, or, different things where you do that. And even here's what I would say: if you do an open house of the week, is track that house, and when it closes, send out the closing. So, hey, we sent this one out to you, open house of the week, and it was listed at $500,000. It went for $2.3 million. So that'll help some people to think, hey, prices are going up, and we're doing that. So you might want to do some follow-up stuff with closed house of the week. But if you do an open house, you can send your client base, hey, I've got an open house I'm doing this weekend. Love to have you see it, stop by and see what's going on, and send the invitation, the address, and all that. You can circle prospect the neighborhood and invite the surrounding neighbors at an open house, which is always an important thing to do. Circle prospect, if you find a radius in there and you knock on doors, you invite people to that. I have done open houses where I have done an early neighbor one. So an hour before the regular open house starts, I do a special one just for the neighbors, give them a sneak peek. Why do I do that?
But is it so that you can hopefully get future clients to remember you in the case they want to sell their house in a couple of years?
Yep, because you're in the neighborhood. You're there in their neighborhood selling a home. They all want to 100% bingo, because then you get a chance to just talk with neighbors who live right there, and you get a chance to show what you do in that without other buyers and that coming through. And they all want to see it anyway, so you give the looky-loos their opportunity. I had one that I was going to do an open house. He said, my neighbor across the street, I do not want him in my house. He never came over. So yeah.
What if he did?
Well, his neighbor was, I didn't want his neighbor in the house either. So, so it's just interesting thing. Focus on getting appointments during the open house. Same exact thing. Anything you do is close for the appointment. You want to be closing for an appointment. You want to have some sort of a call to action where you are getting them to respond. So I got somebody from Oregon, a Weichert agent from Oregon called and said, hey, I've got this guy who bought a house up here. He's got a house down in San Jose to sell. Would you do a referral, on that? So sure. And then I fill out the referral things. And then he says, yeah, he may be signing with an agent. So you might want to act, you may have to act quick. So I called the guy up and said, hey, I sent him an email that night because it was late by the time that I got done. And then I called him the next morning and had a conversation with him. He's already talking with an Intero guy down there. But I was closing for me. I said, hey, I can be down there. This was yesterday. I said, I got to go down there Wednesday. So I could be down there Wednesday, stop in, meet you, walk through the house, show you, what I think needs to be done. And so several opportunities, almost had him to commit to a time and he didn't. So I'll give you a call, later on. And I didn't hear from last night. So after the meeting here, I'll give him a call and, I'll see if I can set up time to go down there. If I have to, I'll shoot down this afternoon. But you want to be close and you want to give them, and what's the best type of closing to do with people when you're talking to them? You want to set an appointment. You want to meet. You want to do. What's the best type of way to do the close?
Do you want to meet at 4 or 7 on Friday?
Do you want to meet at 4 o'clock or 7 on Friday? It's not do you want to get together? It's what time will work better for you. Mm-hmm. Would 4 o'clock on Friday or 9 o'clock on Saturday morning work better for you?
And when you try it, you'd be amazed because it really works.
Yeah.
It really, really works. Isn't it? You think, oh wow, okay, when can I meet?
Yeah, when can I meet?
Do I really want to meet this person?
Yeah. So you're eliminating that no thing. Can we meet? No, not right. I'll give you a call. Versus, hey, would Friday at 4 or Saturday morning at 9 work better for you?
And then should you follow up with a reminder?
Absolutely. If you set an appointment, follow with a reminder and do all that. Again, part of closing is you want a response to that. But if you just do a yes or no thing, you're giving them the opportunity just to shut it down. Yeah. But if you're giving them a choice of this time or this time,
I made a mistake with that this week. I got a referral from just the company or whatever sent me a referral, and I talked to the guy and we completely hit it off. And I sent him information before I scheduled to meet him. I think that was a big mistake because now he's on another agent. So, just as quick as that. Usually because any kind of a referral lead that's not a referral from someone that you know or trust or knows you, they're used to the internet. They want a response like this.
Yeah.
They're used to being able to look someone up, being able to set an appointment right now. And so if we're not doing our job by doing what Dave just said, Friday, 4 or 2, what works for you?
Right.
If you're not doing that, then you're missing out because they're probably setting an appointment with somebody else. You're going to do it. Somebody else is going to do it.
Yep. Again, try to be the first one in. So here's the thing. So it's funny. Maggie's talking about the pace and the speed of things. So last night, James is in Sacramento. I'm at home and our client is in Georgia. We're on the phone. We're Zooming. James is sharing his screen. He's putting things together to sign. He puts it all together. We're all talking and this is all going on. James is doing that. He sends it. About 45 seconds later, our client says, it hasn't come through yet. It's like, and I said, I said, you know, in the old days, we would have to get on a plane and fly there and have you sign it and then fly back. And he goes, yeah, I guess you're right. You know, I was like, now if it's not done in 45 seconds, it's like, you know, what is taking so long? So that's a little bit where we've got to help, you know, we have to be fast, responsive. We also have to at times tell people sometimes things take a little bit of time, especially when you're in a transaction with somebody. It can take some time for some things to get done. So,
or if you're working with several clients,
yeah.
You gotta make sure you're keeping.
So, but again, always be closing. The ABCs always be closing, but do a close with a response that is not just a shut off yes no, where you're doing it where you're giving them an option to do that. You know, hey, I could send you this, or I could send you this. Would you like me to send you this format or this format? You know, in terms of a price evaluation or whatever. Best practice: use my Weichert Open House app. If you do not have the Weichert Open House app on your phone or on an iPad, get it, and I'll show you. If you need help with that, I can walk you through that. You'll go to the Apple App Store or Play Store and search for my Weichert Open House and download the app on your tablet. What I found is when I hand people a clipboard with a pen and a piece of paper, about half of them fill it out and give me minimal information. When I hand them my iPad at the door and say, hey, thanks for coming, if you could just let us know you were here, that'd be appreciated. And each screen is there, it's required. They put the information in, and probably 80% of the times the information is accurate. If you're connected to the Wi-Fi of the house you're in, it'll automatically pop in your database, or when you get in front of to Wi-Fi with your iPad, it'll populate in there because it needs Wi-Fi to be able to populate into your database. So I found that using the electronics, everybody did it, versus a piece of paper, maybe half people did. And so it's a very quick, you can take a picture of the house, you can take a picture of that, you can customize it so it does it and go through and you give them the information and do that. So it's a really effective tool for conversion. And again, getting people into your database and then responding to that and doing things with that helps. Carla and I were talking this morning, she's been sending out home a week, and for some reason it glitched and sent out to 13 people rather than 800 people. So so we got to figure out that issue there taking place. Create the open house registration before you arrive. You can do a lot of that ahead of time. What you can do then is take a picture when you get there if you want to put that into there. If you can work with a mortgage partner, give them access to your new open house contacts to assist with follow-up. So a lot of times if you have them, your mortgage partner follow up with somebody and say, hey, you were at this open house here, and just wanted to see if you've already, pre-qualified, if you've done that step, then just have them start to make contact also for you. And that shows that you're on people's side, because a lot of times I find that about half the people who come to an open house have not talked to a lender. Right. They want to buy, but they haven't talked to a lender, and they don't really know what they qualify for. And so when you've got somebody who says, hey, I'd like to go do that, and you ask them, have you gotten pre-qualified yet? And they say no. What's your response to them when they say no, that they haven't gotten pre-qualified? What do you say? Okay, I'll let her give you a call. Why? Why do you want the lender to give them a call?
Because I know the lender will call, and I don't want to rely on them.
Okay, so that's, but why else do you want them to talk to a lender?
Well, to get the letter.
To get the letter. Why else do you want them to talk to the lender?
How much you can go up to.
Or not we can shop for.
Yeah. Nothing worse, and I have done this before, go out and show homes to somebody, they fall in love with the house, then they talk to a lender and they don't qualify to buy that house. Nothing worse, because then anything that you find in their price range is a downer. They don't like it. And they're disappointed and they're embarrassed because they thought they could do something they couldn't do. So as much as people want to get in the car and go look at stuff, have them talk to a lender, because it may be they got some things they got to fix, and it's going to take a couple months to fix. So there's no sense in them going out and getting all excited about something now that they aren't there yet. So you want to make sure you do that. Hey, Linda. Have your mortgage person follow up with them as well. Share the excitement of your open house by using photos, videos for Facebook, Instagram, YouTube to engage your followers. So they know that you're out there actually working and doing things. The other thing is we'll start doing open houses, and I've got it in my office. I can grab that and show you. We've got the big banner thing that opens up, takes 10 seconds to open it up, put it up there. It's got your picture, your information on there, just they walk inside the door.
I don't know.
Okay, so let me, let's see, add your contacts from your guest registry. If you didn't use the app, add them in, but I would recommend using the app. It really does work best. Call all past open house guests within 24 hours. Okay, within how many hours?
24.
Why? Stay top of mind. Yep. What percentage of, what is Weichert has found, what percentage of people who attend an open house do something in real estate within the next 9 months? What percentage did they found?
3, 7,
What?
70%.
So is 70 to 80%.
70.
70 to 80%. No.
They're
So within the next 9 months, I think it's like 73% of people who attend an open house will do something in real estate within the next 9 months.
And from my research, the people that click on the QR codes when you send out postcards and stuff like that, also are the ones that are selling or buying real quickly. I'll go through and see who they are and to contact them, and most of them have already bought something.
What will everybody who comes to your open house say when you say, hey, are you ready to buy or that? What will all say? Just looking. Yeah, they're all going to say they're just looking. Why do they do that?
Because they don't want to be bothered.
They don't want to be bothered. You're a salesperson. But they do want to be bothered.
Can I just say
Yeah.
that if you don't bother them, then they give you crap later, like, well, I never heard from you. Will you tell me not to bother you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, what I used to do in the beginning, so this is like 2007, 2008 when the market was crashing, but it was so quick, right? So everybody was buying really quickly. So we do open houses and I'd take somebody else. And then we have all the houses in that price range in that area already printed out, the information about them. And if somebody was really interested in talking to you about real estate, one of us would go out and show them some things. I know we're supposed to put the lender first, but it was such a hot market that if we didn't grab them, somebody else would.
Right.
So we'd actually physically go show them homes.
Right.
And yeah, so it would be 2 people and one of us would be prepared to go out. So
Yep.
that was really great.
So
During the open house, we have somebody else.
if you're in an open house and you do the app, what I would recommend doing is have your computer there with you also. Set your phone up. You use your phone as a hotspot and hotspot your iPad and your phone every, I don't know, half an hour or so. If you've had people come through, have it sync, and then through your My Weichert on your computer or your database on your phone, text them. Say, hey, thanks for stopping and calling. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Just want to let you know I appreciate you stopping in and visiting the open house. If you do that and they get a text from you within half an hour being in the open house and saying, hey, thanks for stopping in, I really appreciate that.
Right.
That goes a long ways.
Right.
So it's a good way to do that. Do it to the system, then the system tracks that. And then
another great thing is to take your lender, or if your lender can't go and you have a few different lenders that you work with, do a flyer with your lenders' names on it and make sure you let your lenders know, hey, I met several people today that are going to call you. So make sure you ask them where they came from if you don't, if they don't say my name. So that's a good thing because then the lender will get back to you and say, hey, so-and-so called. And then you follow up.
The lender will create them.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Just so you guys know.
Oh, yeah. They can do it for you. Yeah.
It's also great to have the lender with you at the open house.
yeah, lender, yeah.
If you put several on it, if you put a couple different ones, if you do it yourself, then you can't get in trouble if it didn't work out with the first lender. So you have a few options. Same thing you should be doing with like your home inspector. We have our preferred one. So you should put a couple down so that they can choose. Because because I've gotten into situations where they got angry with me and said, well, I didn't, you recommended them.
Right.
So you want to have a couple of different options is important.
Yep.
Add them to the flyer. Well, you can hook up with a lender where they do it for you, like I'm talking about. So they'll create a flyer every time you get a listing. Those are usually the ones that we put on outside by the signs. But if you're actually working with your clients, I usually give them a few different lenders as options. They usually pick the first one. I mean, they usually always do. So you put your special one on the top, right? But usually they go through it because I've been in situations where they blamed me for giving them a lender that didn't work out. So just an idea for you guys. Keep an open mind.
You can also put your client, put them in as prospects, leads, or active lead, or a client. You can sort your people by that. Consistently contact those who are unresponsive, a minimum of how many times? 12 times. Consistently contact those who are unresponsive, a minimum of 12 times. Okay. Yeah. It takes 8 to 12 positive touches to convert somebody who's going to actually do something. So, what? Not actual touching. Yes. Yeah. So, yes, there's some jokes in there. I'm just going to let those go because I'll get myself in trouble, and we are recording. So, follow up with voicemail via text, include a video. There's all sorts of things to do it. Vary what you're contacting. Do a video through your system. Do a text. Do a phone call. Do an email. Do a pop by. I mean, the more things you do, the keep it fresh. If you do the same thing every time, if you're calling them every time, that's what you're doing. They're going to see your number come and they go, okay, it's Carla again. Don't answer the phone, but you want to vary that and change the frequency and the times on that. Add follow-up call and task reminders on there as well. And stay committed to your CRM follow-up action plan to remain on track and maintain the connection. If you set up a campaign, stay committed to it, follow up on it. Conversion is an issue of consistency. An issue of consistency, good information, knowing your market. It's all those things being done together and enough positive, right types of touches. It's really what it comes down to in terms of converting people, getting them involved and getting them on as clients. So again, find the things that work best for you and stick with that. Very communication, we just talked about that. Social media, text, email, personal notes. A personal note. That will go a long way. Jot a note, mail it to their house. Hand address the outside. Will they open it? Yeah. I go through the mail, boom, 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 boom. If there's something hand addressed, I open it. The rest of it, it's just bills or whatever. But hand addressed stuff, I'll open that up every time, instantly. Somebody likes me, yeah. I don't throw my bills out. I just I let Sue deal with it. She pays the bills.
I did that with my calendars this year, like I did volume, and I got 2 people who are wanting to buy, but we're talking about that, and sell their current property, and then I also got a referral because they're not wanting to sell, they want to stay, but they know somebody else. So, and then that person, they're wanting to buy and sell.
Right.
Okay.
I told you guys the calendars are the one thing that's worked for me every year since the beginning of when I started real estate.
I don't even know them. They're like,
I love
it
them.
was like November. And I just want to make sure you send me one this year.
Right, that's the same thing.
Yep.
I have people that call that I don't know and tell me, hey, you're gonna send me a calendar, right? I'm waiting for it. I'm like, yeah, why haven't you sent it yet?
What do you mean when you're
So there's a site sites
Yeah,
that you can go to and you order calendars, right?
Okay.
And then you put your business, you attach
And then I
it
usually get
and
like
your
some
magnets.
type of
They throw them in the refrigerator and you're there all year long.
like
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna dress up as like a big dinosaur, those big hairy dinosaurs, and I'm gonna have pictures taken of me in front of the house of my favorite.
Oh my
house.
gosh, that'd be
But the
awesome.
ones that I get, like, are totally generic, and there's a guy that does it for us every year because he goes to the office and how many pounds you want. They're only like, how much were they, Linda? Like $30 for 100, or $60 for 100?
Yeah.
What was it? $60 for 100.
Oh,
So
yeah.
break that down. That's cheap.
Yeah, mine are gonna be more expensive. I'm gonna do a little extra. I'm not gonna lie.
So I have heard rumors. I have heard rumors that some of you are using pictures of beefcake pictures of me and putting them in your calendars. I think it's a shameless way to get business.
Your birthday, yes, July.
Oh man. Open houses and or people in your database. So one of the things that I've done in the past is gone through my database, people are homeowners. I put together a simple, quick CMA, handwrite envelope, go to the door, knock on the door, hand deliver it, say, hey, just wanted to give you this kind of update on your house and that. And, you know, so if you get any questions, give me a phone call, keep it short, let them know, you know, what Wagner Realtors, HH Associates, and hand deliver those. When I've done that, or with your database, after you've done the first version round through, every 6 months, put together a simple one and email that to them. Even though the system is sending out the one every month, do one specifically, a little more detail to it, email that to them. When I've done that, every time I do it, I get a couple, 3 people that are saying, hey, is my home really worth that? Yeah, I think so. Let's sell it. And they move on. So it's especially those of you who are new, you don't have past clients, people you know, who you like, trust, farm areas, do CMAs, take them to them, let them know what their home is worth. Set them up in a campaign, even if it's not a perfect campaign. So that's one of the things we're hesitant to do is there's all sorts of campaigns in there. And I think we get a little bit worried about having to have the perfect campaign all set up. One that's not perfect is better than nothing going out. So, you know, let people do that. And one of the things that I've had people to call me, in some ways, I kind of like the market pricing that the system sends out. Because then people call me and goes, my house is worth more than that. You know, it's like, yeah, it does a quick, dirty thing. So it's not always accurate. So let me do an accurate one. And then I do one for them. So even if it's bad information, it's information and everybody gets a response from them.
So I do a cover sheet and I put my picture on it and I tell them, you know, this is the current comp in your area, but this may not be accurate because I have to do a physical walkthrough of your house to see improvements or your lot size. And then I put that on there. So call me if you want me to walk through, no obligation. So I send them out like that. So I do a cover letter and I have like a bunch of them printed. So every time I send out a CMA, I just put it in there.
Yep.
Which has been nice. We're talking about sending out, yes, campaigns, but evaluation of their house, like how much their house is worth. And then I make sure I do a cover letter saying, you never know exactly what it is until I do a physical walkthrough, but this is the range.
Open houses or anything that you do out there, try to always have a call to action. Try to always have something in there that you get a response from them and a call to action, because that's what you want to do is you want to get communication going. Yeah. Also, when you do things through the system or people, you do a property boost or something in there, make sure you respond to that. Maggie the other day goes, all these people are responding. I didn't know who they are. And then she went in her system and was like, oh my gosh, they're responding to stuff here. So they're texting back and forth.
So I send a CMA out and then I wait like 4 or 5 days and then I call, hey, did you get my CMA? Oh, really? Well, you're not interested. Do you know anybody that's interested? So
right.
I just kind of always, and then you send them a letter and you say, wow, thanks for taking my phone call. I enjoyed talking to you. You know, so you follow up.
Yeah. And Maggie said an important thing there, ask for referrals, even if they're not ready. They may not be ready, but they may know people who are. Right. And what you can do is you talk to people right now is, hey, our inventory is so tight right now. Who do you think would be the next most likely person in your neighborhood to make a move? Right. Because we've got buyers that are really trying to find things and I wouldn't mind going and talking to them, seeing if they're interested in selling.
Yes. And just
So.
like Katie Corp, you guys can hear all this, but if you don't use it, it's not going to work.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Add your new clients to Smart Campaign. If they've gone in through the open house, you can also set up when open houses that you set up on a campaign automatically. It's somebody that goes in as an open house. The system will set that up if you set that up for that hashtag. Make sure the open house campaign is active in your Smart Campaign library. And if you don't know how to do that, let me know. We'll get you up that. Set them up for market reports and search alerts for similar properties to the open house they attended. So again, I would pre-do that you're doing open house. I would have some things ready to go that that are similar to that you can set them up automatically and quickly and get them up to speed. Closing dialogue at the open house. Now you've seen the house. What do you think? Let them talk. If interested in the property, that's great. After reviewing the local market with you today, what do you think you would offer? And then give the open house traffic today and the current market conditions in this town. I would strongly suggest we meet sooner rather than later to put our things together. How would you change the dialogue on a property boost? Somebody responds to them and you give them a call. So you do a property boost. So Carl, I'll have this. So you boost a property, somebody goes on to there and you do a follow-up phone call. So you be you and I'll be the property boost person.
I haven't done any phone calls with it because with the property boost, I'm usually not getting a phone number.
Okay.
And the ones that I have had, they text.
Okay.
And I mean, I don't even want to say it, but I haven't had luck with the campaigns that I've set up.
Okay.
Have you done 11 times or 12 times?
They ignore it, and I see that they don't even open the email. So the best thing I've had luck with is the search alerts that I set them all up on. Okay. And I've also found that, say whatever, like you boost an $800,000 house and it's 4-bedroom, 3-bath. If you don't go into the system and make some adjustments, the system will set up its own search alerts. Right. And it's going to do a minimum of a 4-bedroom, like 3-bath, but maybe, so you're going to be excluded from any 3-bedroom. Correct. Even a 2-bedroom, a 2-bath. The price range is going to be minimized. So anyways, I go in there and I do my own. You adjust? I adjust it and I do like a 3-bedroom, any bath, or if it's Discovery Bay, I do any and any because, I don't have to worry about Somerset homes getting put in there. Right. And then I do up to like, usually go 100,000 over the price of the property. I boost it and I go down to 0. So 0 to 900, any and any. And I've gotten a lot of activity on my dashboard from that. So that's where I just think that, people are looking and looking. They're going to have to call me at some point. They're going to have to do something. When I email them, I'm like, hey, what are you thinking? They're also not answering that either. Okay. So I don't know. I'm just going with the numbers right now.
Answering the ones that Katie Corp sends out?
They're not even opening those.
Because I have them opening, and I'd say from each campaign, it's probably 5 or 6 people that respond.
No, and the best one, I got some to open, no response, but some opened. Looks like the Happy New Year email I sent out. But anything that has to do with the campaign I've set up, nobody's responding.
Oh, well, they will. Eventually, they will.
Okay.
They will.
So have you called any of them where you've gotten phone numbers?
I think it's been texting.
Okay. Why not a phone call?
I'm trying not to scare them off, and I don't want them to not respond to anything or get off my site.
Okay. Linda.
So I've done the calls. What do you do about the person that says like, oh no, I have a realtor already, but is still using your site?
Right. Yeah.
Like, okay, well go use your realtor site.
So
you block them when they're routine.
So I had someone say, please take me off your list. I've already asked before and we've moved.
So that means you already had a realtor and you were shopping around
Right.
on my site.
Right.
That's okay, even better than that, I had
And I
somebody.
just said, okay, I'll taken care of, congrats on your new home.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah.
But then do they go back and look at your site again?
Not again.
I've had them do, like, I had the person that told me that I was worse than a car salesman because I was following up with him, because it like, it sent him like 3 things and it's like,
Right.
that's enough. He said,
Yeah.
that's enough. I said, hey, look, I'm so sorry, it's an automatic thing. If you need any help with real estate, please let me know. I'll get you off of the automatic stuff.
Yeah.
Any questions about my site, let me know. You guys are worse than car salesmen. You know, we're just a used car salesman. I'm just looking at homes in the area. And then I said, okay, well, this is part of my job, is just
Right.
to follow up to make sure you have what you need. If you already have a realtor, please use their site if you don't want any updates from me.
Yeah,
And then he was like, just remove me. So I removed him, deleted him out of my system. 2 days later, same guy pops up looking at houses, and I'm like, can I block him?
Right.
Remove
Remove them again, I know.
so here's how I would respond to that. I would have sent him an email and said, hey, you know, I did remove you from my site, but it appears you've gone back on again, which is great. That's fine to do that. But just so you know, you're doing that is going to activate some automatic things. So I appreciate you going back on. If you want me to remove you again, please let me know. But I did take that step, but this reactivated it. So
And I had a husband going on my site, and I had a freaked out wife saying, well, who the hell are you? And some foul language.
Yeah.
And you need to take him off your site if that's what this is. And just like, wow. And then you go back on the site, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, and I've had people choose
Yeah, now you
unsubscribe,
real estate, are you
and
I
then,
don't know.
Well, she's gonna lead to a therapist.
yeah.
but yeah, I've had people unsubscribe. I don't remove them. I just mark them as closed and I get them off all the automated steps. I don't send them
Oh, that's
anything.
good.
So I just
Yeah.
close them,
Right.
and then they come back and I see them
Right.
looking
Yep.
at stuff.
Right. that's
They're
what
not,
I'm
I don't
saying.
open them back up again, but I'm like, wait, you got out of here,
Right.
and here you are
Yeah.
again.
Which means we have a cool site.
Yep.
That they keep going on,
Yep.
which is awesome.
Yep. Okay, so let me do some follow-up action stuff. Well, our time is almost up here. So add your new contacts to your Smart CM. So if it's an open house, the open house hashtag will go in. They're already using the app. It'll automatically do the hashtag on that, but always hashtag people. The more hashtags you have in there, the more things you can separate and do specific things for that. Have your email your mortgage partner, have them follow up with people. When I get people that call and ask about buying a home, then I will say, have you talked to a lender? No, I haven't. And so I will say, can I send you contact information for a lender to begin talking to you? Yeah. So I had somebody the other day, yesterday, that I sent that information over to so they can do that. Immediately call everyone who attended and those who you invited from your database who RSVP'd and couldn't make it. So follow up with people that have come to your open house, either text or phone call or something, so you do a follow-up immediately. Again, same thing with people that go on that hit your property boost, your squeeze page, your landing pages. Follow up with them, send information out there, contact them, let them know that you're alive and that you are interested in working with them. When you connect, build rapport, create a sense of urgency, ask about their plans, their timeline. What are you looking for in a new home? Another question right now is, what is your understanding of what the market is doing right now? For buyers and sellers, that's a different response. Sellers are, man, my understanding is that the prices are going up crazy. And for buyers, I've heard it's really hard to get into a home right now. Ask those questions to get more engagement, more conversation going. When leaving a voicemail, follow up with a text. Ideally, include a video message thanking them for attending, or let them know you missed them. Ask when they're available to meet to discuss how you can offer additional assistance. So a follow-up email. So the other thing you can use is you can use the thing in there where it goes straight to voicemail and leave a voice message. They're gonna listen to that because they'll go, I didn't know I missed a call, and they're curious. I had a couple of those yesterday that it's like it never rang, and so I listened to the voicemail, and then I wish I hadn't had the voicemail. Anyway, update your notes and change their status in CRM on the outcome of your call. So prospect, active, client. Go in constantly working with your CM people, updating people, adding hashtags, being interactive with that. Search alerts, Carla talked about that. Send them up search alerts. The more specific and tight you are, the less things they'll get. Start broad and let them tighten it down if they want to. And then add automated market reports for the areas of interest. Add a call reminder every 2 weeks. Put in your calendar just to follow up with them, see how they're doing, see what their searches are doing, see if they're going back on your site. Check those things and keep up with that and be informed with that. For those contacts with who you've not made a connection, confirm the automated open house follow-up campaign is turned on. Follow the system's automated call. So again, don't always be checking what you're doing. Carla did her property boost or her home of the week and only went out to 13 people where it's been doing 800. So something's off, fix that, find that. Don't assume, always check what's going on with the system, making sure it's working properly. For any long-term buyer prospect, add them to a buyer-themed email campaign, and then add additional hashtags, long-term buyer, first-time home buyer, those sort of things will help to do that. So you know what's going on there. Invite and register and search on your website. The behavioral automation is great in there. Be persistent. Don't give up. Be persistent. Again, this is a tight market, tight time, very competitive, but only about half the people are actually out there doing work. So be the half that's getting the business. Because as things continue to be tight, more agents are going to throw up their hands and say it's not working, and they're going to step out. The opportunities are going to grow for you. So be persistent. Don't give up. Keep going, and be creative in that. Let's see. Let me go to here. Follow-up text dialogue. So you have at your disposal, and there's copies in this small conference room. The calls, it's called the calls for you. I think that was what it's called. It's called. It's the whole thing. It's like 80 pages of scripts, email scripts, text scripts, phone scripts for all sorts of situations. Use those and get good. Now, also keep in mind, the language in there is specific. It's the language that you might be comfortable with it, but it's there to elicit response. So use it as it is, and then find your voice. And that, Linda.
There's also scripts in there about voicemails, and if you do the voicemail drop add-on to your previous course, often you have to make specific name. You can just if you do a whole script. I omit the part with the name so I could use it. The drop, the voicemail drop, but it goes out to a lot of people, and I've actually had a lot of
Yep. Again, as you guys learn things and find things that work, let's talk about them and help each other with that. Again, be persistent, because your business is going to take off if you stay persistent. You stay consistent, persistent, and do those things that work. Any questions on that? We covered a lot of grounds, and we're going to be talking more and more about closing and converting, because that's really what it comes down. You guys are getting leads. Now we got to get good at closing those, converting those. So any questions, anybody? Nope.